Okay, we are here with the Pioneer Summer Camp Bundle, and let's first start off with the bell. All in all, I think it's a good design. The dinner bell sounds good, looks good. I mean, you can see the detail work they actually put into it. I actually really enjoy items like this that adds that little flair to your camp. It might not be super, must have, but it's great if you want, a dinner bell. As for the nest, I think they did a great job on the actual design of the nest. It looks good. It's kind of terrifying to think of something that big that's able to drag off big giant chunks of boards and other things to make this. When it's got a few eggs in it, it actually still looks good. This would be great with the Deathclaw eggs or the Agua eggs. When you start loading up all of those 8 slots, however, it starts to get a little wonky. As you can see, they literally, the ones around the edge float. The inside ones do float a tiny bit, but you have to get really close before you actually can notice that. Whereas the ones on the edge, super noticeable. That said, I personally wasn't buying it for egg storage. I was buying it because it's a giant nest that I can do all sorts of crazy things with. Next up, the ant farm, which was a good grief. I mean, I did not expect the giant ants. I expect this thing to be like a fourth of the size. I mean, holy cow. This is definitely the most Fallout funny thing, though. You can think about just random wastelanders trying to make these things into pets. But as you can see, they've got a little loop that they do. The two over there just kind of sit and talk and deal things. There's one that runs around. Then there's one on top that just sits there. Now, if I get in close, you can actually see them doing a little stuff. A little bit more. As overall design, I really like this. Like I said, it's just a funny Fallout style kind of thing. As you can see, I can look up on either side. They even have little things they do. The back is solid. But it is a big, just nice thing. If you wanted a giant ant cage, I mean, this is it. I do not think the photos do this justice. It is just crazy how big this thing is. Next up, we have the Mr. Fuzzy Pioneer. And you know what? It both is an adorable Mr. Plushie, and it does have the Pioneer style. Overall, good design. It does have that kind of worn and torn to make it not look oddly new. It does look like it survived the apocalypse. As for the birdcage, I kind of thought there was going to be a bird in it, but it is nice. It is just a bird cage at the bottom with a lamp on the top. That said, it looks actually really done, like well done. It's got a good designed light to it. The actual design on the side actually is still good looking. As you can see, if you do like the design and workmanship on it, it actually works really well. Now, on to the last piece. And finally, we have the budding apothecary collector. And this is a resource item, so it has to go in a camp, cannot go in a shelter. That said, it's a nice little item. It basically generates one of the herbal plants that are like bloodweaves, ash rose, carrot flower, those sorts of deals. Stringler, like the stringler pods. And all in all, it's a nice thing to have if you're a person that likes doing a little bit of a white, like medicine making and other things. But is it going to ever come into place of you actually going out with Green Thumb and getting it yourself? No. It generates one new plant about every 10 minutes, and it seems to hold about 24. It's got a good number of plants they can randomly get, but because it's only one of them every 10 minutes, you're talking 6 an hour holding 24. I mean, it's going to take a long time to fill up. That said, I do enjoy the ability to always get a few extra things when I'm walking into my camp to resupply. You know, if you're a person that doesn't have a ton of time to play the game and you enjoy having these sorts of things that helps you out, not have to spend so much time, it's really nice. I do enjoy the new collectors. They're, you know, it's a nice time save. But at the same time, a person that actually goes out and does it will still be 10 times more effective. And with that, I hope it understands and explains all these different items. And with that, I hope you have a good week.